Yeah.
Okay. And I think what's going on underneath the surface in our country, left, right included, is that we are all starved, not even hungry anymore. We are starved for purpose and meaning and identity at a time in our national history when the things that used to ground us in our identity, faith, patriotism, hard work, family, these things have largely disappeared. That leaves a moral vacuum, a black hole in its wake. And when you have a black hole that runs that deep, poison fills the void. And so what we need to do is to fill that void with a vision of, in my opinion, American national identity without apology, to dilute that poison to irrelevance. That is what we are starved for. As it relates to the conspiracy theorizing on the right,
Sure,
that as you'll label, okay? So first of all, I think it's worth just doing a recounting of the last 24 months in this country, right? We were told that a virus that did not originate in a lab in Wuhan, if you said it did, that you were racist and had your social media accounts locked.
Okay, if we
now know
Vivek,
that it originated,
only
right?
because we have limited time and we've gotten this list so many times.
Yep.
I know where you're going with this, which is sometimes people have been wrong about certain things.
The amount of deflection and distraction that David Snakeman has to do in order to keep up with this conversation with Republican Vivek Ramaswamy, I think I'm pronouncing his name correctly, is insane. However, it's not surprising because we smart people on this channel know the lies that someone like David Snakeman has to perpetuate. By the way, if you did not know, I just recently renamed David Pakman to David Snakeman because he slithers around the truth. We all know it. Comment that for the algorithm. David Snakeman. Comment it now. It's so funny because this is what liberals tend to do. We already know what you're going to say. We are limited on the time, guys. Let's move on. Let's skip past this point. Why? If you already know what I'm going to say, good for you. You have an easier job at attempting to dismantle the argument, but you can't. Just wait, watch. Let's get straight into it.
The military's a little nuts, right?
Well, let me just that's facile. Okay, let's just double click on that a little bit.
Sure.
What's the intuition? What's the intuition there? The intuition is that Joe Biden, the duly elected president of the United States, supposedly the person in charge, is actually in charge, making the decisions. I don't think he is. I don't think many people in the Democratic Party think that he is. I think it is a managerial class that finds him as a convenient vehicle for advancing a particular agenda.
Okay, but are there any of these examples you wouldn't defend? Like, we've gone to Trump rallies and they say Trump's actually still in charge because the generals swore an oath to him. Are you willing to say is there some version of that one that you think
Trump is not in charge? That's why he is taking great pains to run for president of the United States.
Okay, so that one's just wrong. That one you're not going to equivocate on.
But is it David or Peck? How should I address you?
You can call me anything you want, Vivek.
Okay, got it. I'll call you David. And thank you for saying my name correctly. It is Vivek. So,
okay, I will just say, kind of cringe I guess it's Vivek. Come on. The left got so mad at us for saying Kamswala wrong. I think it's Kamala and not Kamala. Oh my gosh, I get so offended when someone says your name wrong. I remember growing up my entire life, when you're in like kindergarten and it's like the first day of school, they're reading the names of the new students. Everyone would always say Isabel O'Reilly. Bitch, there's no O and there's an A at the end of my name. You don't read the name Emma as M, but with Isabella, they would always do that. Did I freaking care? No, because I'm not a little pussy ass bitch. I should probably censor myself a little bit, but come on. I remember I used to work at Staples, I know. Before I was married days, back before college days, and first year of college days, people would literally ask me that I was like coworkers with. They would say, hey, what's your nickname? And I never had a nickname. Everyone has always called me Isabella my entire life. I would tell them, call me trash, which is why I don't get why people care if someone pronounces your name weird. Sorry. Get over it. Who cares? There's way worse things happening. Gosh, if I were to get mad at people for not pronouncing my name wrong or correctly, I would probably be in an insane asylum. where most women should be. Anyways, let's get back to the video. Yeah, sorry, Vivek. Vivek, is that offending you? I don't get it.
Here's what I will say. I think you and I share this in common. I'll speak for myself, and I'll, give you the assumption to start with that you share this in common is
sure.
We care about reviving a national identity and a nation we can be proud of that is united around the principles that set us into motion 250 years ago. That's certainly what I care about. I think that is still possible in this country. I don't know that 20 years from now it'll be possible. I think it's still possible in this country right now. I think you and I are not on the side of a national divorce. If that's the case, then we need to be able to pierce through what somebody, because I went on the Breakfast Club. I don't know if did you see that interview?
Saw it, of course. Yeah. We did deep prep.
I appreciate that. Deep prep. I appreciate deep prep. So I had a moment in that interview where I could.
Are they sleeping together? What is going on here?
Probably have done to this woman, I forget her name, what you might be able to do to the people who were in that room with you in Illinois, which is to take a speck of what she said and then just say, this is my occasion to bury her. I kind of had that moment on set with Don Lemon and decided to take it. Because
it's Don Lemon, Vivek. It's Don Lemon. Come on. Pronounce his gay name correctly. Por favor.
That Don Lemon's different. That's not an adjective.
The nerve. I got so offended on behalf of Don Lemon that I smacked the freaking mic. By the way, if you enjoy content like this, I don't know why you would, but if you do, subscribe. Post new videos every single day. Like the video, comment, it helps the video out, and we'll get back to it. Yay.
My question is, what's going on underneath the surface?
Yeah.
Okay? And I think what's going on underneath the surface in our country, left, right included, is that we are all starved, not even hungry anymore. We are starved for purpose and meaning and identity at a time in our national history when the things that used to ground us in our identity, faith, patriotism, hard work, family, these things have largely disappeared. That leaves a moral vacuum, a black hole in its wake. And when you have a black hole that runs that deep, poison fills the void.
Just ask George Floyd. Seriously, just ask George Floyd. Liberals, you know what I mean.
And so what we need to do is to fill that void with a vision of, in my opinion, American national identity without apology, to dilute that poison to irrelevance. That is what we are starved for. As it relates to the conspiracy theorizing on the right,
sure,
that as you'll label, okay. So first of all, I think it's worth just doing a recounting of the last 24 months in this country, right? We were told that a virus that did not originate in a lab in Wuhan, if you said it did, that you were racist and had your social media accounts locked.
Okay, if we
now know
Vivek,
that it originated,
only
right?
because we have limited time and we've gotten this list so many times.
Yep.
I know where you're going with this, which is sometimes people have been wrong about certain
many
things.
times.
Of course, David Pakman or David Snakeman knows where Vivek is going to go with this, so he has to deflect. Hey, we've heard it so many times. Don't even bring it up. What a waste of time. No, let's talk about it, David Snakeman. Stop trying to slither around the topic.
This would be my only point, because I could go
totally
for a long
fine.
time. In the last 2 years.
Yeah.
And so we got to be on a point where I think that alone is prima facie evidence, okay, that it's not enough to just point to the ridiculous facial claim that somebody makes and sort of narrowly solve for, can you denounce that as false? You're playing the wrong game, especially against the backdrop that is not reading a room correctly.
Yeah.
Where time and again, and it is, and so you'll cut me off appropriately because you know the list as well as I do. But
stop granting David Snakeman all of these things. Stop.
Time and again, it has to be measured against the backdrop of every major instance that has been systematically suppressed has come out to have had some element of truth to it.
Fair.
And I think it's against that backdrop
if it's okay with you, so I can hit a couple other things, I want to leave it at, I think there's a difference between recognizing that, for example, how effective vaccines are against the latest variant is different than Trump is in control right now because the general swore a loyalty oath. As long as we can agree those are two different things and we can talk about both.
Who thinks Trump is in control? Seriously, I don't. What are we talking about?
We can maybe hit a couple other things. Is that cool?
Yeah.
Fair.
I think we're on the same
I mean, Vivek should not have granted him that, because that's not at all what Vivek was trying to say.
And page there.
Good.
Sad.
I have to
Sad.
talk to you about woke and wokeness. You wrote the book. It's in the title. One of the things I'm interested in when it comes to the anti-woke movement and woke as a cancer or a problem is that there's about a half dozen or more polls that show that wokeness seems to be the predominant perspective if you look at the whole country. I won't give you the full list, but just so we put a couple here, there's one poll from Pew.
They don't use the word in these studies, though, because David Pakman always talks about these. They don't say wokeness. They kind of like use different ways to define the word, because most people, a lot of people, if they hear the word woke, they kind of cringe, because most people they don't have common sense, but they're at least not completely mentally insane. So this is a way that liberals kind of use and abuse and twist the data to support their stupid arguments.
Which finds that about 6 in 10 Americans who have going far enough, the right distance or not far enough on making trans people feel okay, not discriminated against, understanding their issues. 60% say we've hit the right note, or we actually have not gone far enough. There's one from The Hill about 60% of the country is against any restrictions on drag performances. This is the sort of thing I'm talking about. Maybe you will dispute the numbers, maybe you won't, but those are some of the data I'm working with. Doesn't it seem as though the anti-woke idea is maybe overplaying a hand that might do well in some parts of the country, but won't win a national campaign, as evidenced by what Ron DeSantis is seeing right now, losing 42% of his support in the primary?
So I want to say something, which I've said before, but it doesn't seem to matter, but I'm going to say it anyway. The media seems to be the one that uses a label of anti-woke to describe my campaign. I am running a campaign to revive national identity. And at the time I wrote Woke Inc., you know what people criticized the title back then? People said, nobody knows what this word is.
Okay.
So at the time I wrote the book, that was actually the chief criticism of the title. And unlike many on both the left and right, I will define exactly what it is that I view as a symptom of a deeper malaise in our current.
I thought you were going to define woke itself.
No, well, wokeness is a symptom, and I will define the symptom, but it is also a deeper cancer. And wokeness is a worldview that says that there are certain invisible social relationships between us, grounded on oppression or oppressor relationships and statuses of people based on race, gender, and sexuality. That you're either oppressor or oppressed based on those genetic attributes, that there are invisible societal injustices resulting from them, and that we have to be awake, alert to those injustices and then correct for them. Left or right, I think that's a neutral definition that describes at least what we're talking about.
I have a different one, which is much simpler, which is simply becoming woke is becoming aware that there are problems in our society.
Sorry, I have to cut off David Pakman right there. Not going to let you talk more, David Pakman. You're not going to weasel your way, slither around the truth on my channel. Nope. Vivek is granting way too much, in my opinion, on this interview. I get it. You're on someone else's podcast. You kind of want to have some level of agreement here, but I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure you comment an orange heart. It helps boost the video in the algorithm because YouTube likes to censor videos like mine. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.